and then let go, and that'll close the timeline. And I can also just make this a little bit smaller. Now, to help us with the modeling, I've provided some free modeling reference images, so you can download those with the links in the description. So I have a free download of those on my Patreon and also on my Gumroad store. So I first want to double tap the A key to select everything, and then I'm going to press X and we are going to click on delete. So I now just want to add in those reference images. So I'm going to press 1 on the numpad, and that is going to take me to the front view. So I now want to add the reference images. So I'm going to press Shift A. Shift A is the shortcut key to add things. And I want to go right down here to image. And I want to add a background. So again, key.
If you're a web designer, here are 4 Wix Studio features you gotta know
to save the Blender file. Alright, so to start off, I want to model the head. So to model the head, I'm going to press Shift A, and I want to go over here to Mesh, and I want to add a UV sphere. Now, right when you add the UV sphere, without
things like 3D modeling.
So you want to make a character. Well, there are a few ways to go about it. I prefer box modeling. That's what I'm doing in this video, and it's basically just starting with simple
Imagine this. Take a lot of inspiration from its designs. We have, what is this one called? Banbalina. That's a good one. That's a good one. Every monster should have its ghost form and its teacher form. It would be really cool if the teachers were just real people. So we should look up like vintage woman teacher. Have like hair, like a music. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so this is going to be fun to model. And by fun, I mean it's probably going to be 8 hours and I'm going to be exhausted after it. It's going to look like an 8-year-old made it. Blender! Yay! I haven't used Blender in so long. We might be screwed. All right, let's start off with a cube. How do you go into edit mode? Oh, I might be cooked. I might be cooked. Watch and learn, my little modeling apprentices.
So you want to make a character.
If you can draw a stick figure, you can model a character. If you've seen my videos before, chances are you've seen this one about how to model characters fast. And you'll know that I'm not exaggerating when I say it's probably the quickest and easiest way to model a character in Blender. You all seem to like that video, but I noticed a lot of the comments... Among Us! But I noticed a lot of the comments were just the same few questions. So this one is meant to answer all those questions, as well as teach the basics of the technique. I have a bunch of character modeling videos planned for October, so this is a perfect time to talk about this again. And if you want to download the characters I make, all of them will be available on Patreon. Here's a summary of what we'll cover. We'll start with talking about the skin modifier, which is what makes this whole process possible. Meanwhile, we'll be building our character from a single vertex and a few modifiers. Basically, we're just extruding the vertex to draw a stick figure. So to start our character, I'm going to go into X-ray mode and hit Ctrl-A to scale this down quite a bit. Drag it up. This is going to be where our hips are. And we can basically hit E to extrude to draw our character stick figure style. So this is going to be our leg. We can hit that, so you can see I'm scaling it up and down now. Normally you'd be able to select things and hit S to scale things up. So to start our character, I'm going to go into X-ray mode and hit Ctrl-A to scale this down quite a bit. Drag it up. This is going to be where our hips are. And we can basically hit E to extrude to draw our character stick figure style.
Have you ever wanted to make YouTube videos like your favorite YouTubers? Well, today I'm going to show you 3 secret steps on how
to save the Blender file. Alright, so to start off, I want to model the head. So to model the head, I'm going to
G'day, Michael from
Do you guys see the vision of this monster? Why does she have a flag? It's not.
Your workflow is important to us. Please wait indefinitely.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management
sphere without clicking away from it or moving it at all.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform, you have the power. Not IT, not admins. You're in charge.
Welcome to this beginner tutorial on basic character modeling for beginners. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to model this basic character in Blender. If you'd like to help support me and this channel, then you can purchase the tutorial files on my Gumroad store, and you can also get the tutorial files on my Patreon page. And checking out my Gumroad store and Patreon page are great ways to help support Sketchfab's 3D and upload phone fab with. Now, as we're modeling this, if you want to see the screencast keys, they're going to be right down here in the corner so you can see what buttons I'm pressing. Now, I'm not going to need the timeline, so just to have a little bit more room in the 3D space, I'm going to hover my mouse right over here when the crosshair appears, and then I'm going to click and then drag up. Now to help us with the modeling, I've provided, so I have a free download of those on my Patreon, and then I'm going to press X and we are going to click on delete. So I now just want to add in those reference images. So I'm going to press 1 on the numpad, and that is going to take me in. I'm going to press Road Store. So I first want to double tap the A key to select everything, and then I'm going to press X and we are going to click on delete. So I now just want to add in those reference X, and we first want to double tap the A key to select everything, and then I'm going to press X and we are going to click on delete. So I now just want to add in those reference images. So I'm going to press 1, add the and I want to go right down here to image, and I want to add a background. So again, links in the description if you'd like to download the free modeling to the folder, to view button, and I have the align to view turned on. It's going to be on the front view because we were looking at the front view. So I now want to add in the side view. So I'm going to press 3 on the numpad. That's going to take me to open another side view, and now we have one at side view. And then if I press 1 on the numpad, we also have one at front view. So I'm now going to press 7 on the numpad, and that is going to take me to top view, and I'm going to do a background, and then this time drag with my 5 on the numpad. That is going to see the reference. Go to front view, top orthographic way, we're just 3D space. And so that's actually very helpful because when we're on side view, we'll be able to look at those reference images, but then we won't be able to see the reference images when we're just looking around at the 3D character in the 3D space. So I'm going to press 1 on the numpad for the front view, and before we start with the modeling, there's just one more thing I want to do. I want to save this Blender file just in case, so that if it crashes, we won't lose any of our progress. So let's click on File, and then I'm going to click on Save As. And I'm just going to save this as charactermodeling.blend in a folder on my computer, and I'll just click on Save As. And then as you're working on the project, you can press Ctrl S, and that is the shortcut key to save the Blender file. Alright, so to start off, I want to model the head. So to model the head, I'm going to press Shift A, and I want to go over here to Mesh, and I want to add a UV sphere. Now, right when you add the UV sphere, without clicking away from it or moving it at all, I want to click right over here on the Add UV Sphere settings. And that is going to bring up these settings, so just click on that. I'll just move myself out of the way. So you can see we have segments, and then we also have rings. And so we can use this to change the topology of the UV sphere. So on the segments, I'm going to turn that to a value of 16. So I'm going to just change the segments to 16. And then on the rings, I want to change that to 12. So the rings to 12. And now you can see that that sphere is lower topology. So I can now just click on this little button right here, and that's going to hide the Add UV Sphere settings, and I'll just move myself back. So now that I've added that UV sphere, I want to rotate it over. So what I'm going to do is press Tab, and Tab is going to go into the edit mode so we can edit the object. So I'm now going to press R, and R is going to rotate the sphere. Now I want to rotate it exactly over by 90 degrees. So what you could do is you could hold down the Control key, and that is going to make your movements be moved by increments. So you can move that over exactly to 90 degrees, but I could also just type in 90 and then enter, and that'll rotate it over by exactly 90 degrees. Now this character is symmetrical, so one side is the same as the other side. So what I can actually do is just delete half of the character, and then we can just model one side, and we can use Blender's mirror modifier to mirror it over to the other side, so we only have to model one side. So that is what I'm going to do, and it's going to make mirror it over to the other side, so we only have to model one side. So that is what I'm going to do, and it's going to make each side exactly the same, and it'll also speed up the modeling process. So to do that, I first need to
Na festa do fim de semana.